have seen something, aggregate functions, average, and then count, minimum, maximum, and then sum. Now let's move on to types of SQL. Already I have told you, we have two types: a single row function and then multiple row function. So single row function work with a single row at a time. The returns a result for every row of query table. For example, if you write, query select, student name and then student mark one from, student table where you took some condition, mark 1 is greater than 50, which means it will check one by one and then any records of found, and then it will return. So group multiple row or group function means it work with a multiple row at a time. For example, we have a same record in a table, right? So job means we have same jobs. Yeah. Even though in a department number we have same department number for different employees. Using those groups, we can send a query, and then we will get only single value. So it return aggregated values. Sorry, it returns a single result for that group. So except count star, this function, aggregate function, rest of them ignores null values. Let me prove that. Now star emp. Okay, here I changed that record. What is that? A commission or whatever. So I changed it to null. Before I passed. Before we had some data. So I want to calculate average. How do you calculate? Select. How do you calculate average? Average or sum?
Select
Select. Yeah.
start
Come
from
on. Sum. No. I am asking
start
you
from
to listen. I am calculating sum or average. So you just leave only one is enough. Select sum of commission. You forgot that. I can give the name. Average commission or sum commission. I'm telling you what except star count star, the rest of the aggregate function ignore null values. So what it does mean? So what, if you calculate sum for this column, so we have plenty of rows, right? So we have 12 records or altogether. I think so, right? So we yesterday we counted that
yes,
the
ma'am.
total number of record. So in this column, we have some null values. So what I am asking, what I am trying to prove, if you use any other aggregate function, it ignores the null value. So actually, if you calculate average here for salary, it will add all the 12 records of salary and then divided by 12. Okay, now if you use any null values, what will happen if you use aggregate function, either sum or average, it will leave this one, leave null values. It will select only 1400, 500, 300, 300, 0. This add these five values and then divided by 5. Okay, so that is the motto. So let's do that from EMP. What is going on? Okay, instead of bracket there is a semicolon. Okay, you know what I mean. See, 2500.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so the other aggregate functions, some maximum, minimum, we have null values here. So if you ask you to calculate a maximum, then it won't consider that null value. So it will fetch whatever the records are there, it will return. Suppose if you ask count star, okay, count, then star. So count star, how we can write it? Count star total or whatever, which total you want. from EMP. I can do that, right? So either this one
Yes,
or
ma'am.
commission. So we have commission, using a null values. If you put star means it will fetch any column and then count it and then it will return. If you want to calculate, number of records in column name, is commission or something. So it will count 12. Only 5, it ignores 5. Okay, so what it does mean, it will only count the star, won't ignore null option. Okay, see, now it is 12. Okay, that's what I have mentioned here. Except count star, the
Yes,
aggregate
ma'am.
functions ignore null values. Okay. Next, to move on to grouping result. Already we have seen, how to write using a group by. So the grouping class combines all those records have identical values in a particular field or group of field. What we have seen before, group by. Let's take that table. We saw we use a query group by job, so which means it will group clerk and then salesman and then ascending order or descending order, it will do that. So if you are selecting employee number, this is not a non-group expression, right? So employee number have a unique value, right? So even though employee name,
Yes, ma'am.
maybe sometimes it has a unique value. So for example, MGR, this column has a unique value. If you use these columns or these attributes in a group by class, so MySQL won't throw error. That's what here I mentioned. MySQL wouldn't create a error. It include a non-group expression. So here this employee number and then NGR, these two columns are non-group expression. So you can, EMP name, 2, 3 employees have same name, even higher date also same name. But these two columns are non-group expression. We cannot group them, right? So, but if you use this non-group expression in a group by class, MySQL won't throw error. It will show the first record. Yesterday I told you, right? If you are using a group by job and then select the EMP number, what will
Yes,
happen?
ma'am.
It will select a clerk, 2, 3 clerks, and then fetch the first employee number, and then it will return on the resultant panel. Okay, so that's what I know, grouping results using a group by expression. Okay, so if you use, already I explained that query. Okay, let me write this query. What will happen, I don't know. Da-da-da. Descending order. So what here we are doing, group by country. So from player, okay, let me, okay. So what it does mean, we are doing group by country, having ID is greater than 10, then order by country, descending order. Okay, let me run here. We have the player table, no country here, right? So which means I have, something here. Let me explain. Yeah, I have country and that's something. Okay, let me use student record, that's right, ENT, student record database. So let me run this database and then let me run this query. What will happen? So okay, we have I used group by country, having ID is greater than 10, then order by country, descending order. You got it, right? So let me show that table here. We have a table ID and then player name, score, country, city, and then postal code. I have added these 3 columns yesterday, so we can group by country. So Germany and then to Mexico, then Sweden, England, Brazil. We can group by country. Having ID is 10. So what is that? Okay, each player have ID, different ID. We don't have any ID 10, right? So how we got a result? How this query is executed? Okay, ID is greater than 10. Come on, guys, wake up. I'm also sleeping. You guys also sleeping. Okay, what I have written.
No, ma'am. I'm
Okay,
looking.
this one is having class. I will explain it later. Okay, you can use group by country, and then you can use some conditions. Where class generally what we do, if you check any condition, we can use where class, right? So where class, we always, I have written here some conditions. Did I or not? No. No, 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 no. I haven't written anything. Okay, so where class, basically, uh, that condition on individual row, it will select, mark 1 is less than or equal to 75 or according to this record. Okay, ID is less than or equal to 10 or greater than or equal to 10, you need to print the result. So that's what here we are mentioning, where class, that condition. But having class means, if you use have class, this condition will apply in a group functions, group items. Okay, so you understand this? Maybe I can use this record, you will understand later. Okay, I will explain it. So the where class,
Understood.
there is a difference between where class and the having class. So the having class places a condition on a group. Okay, so having class places a condition on a group, but where class that places a condition on individual row. So if you use where class, that cannot include aggregate function. Okay, so where, if you use where employee name or whatever, employee number or whatever, you cannot use that aggregate function. So but where having class, we can use aggregate function. So aggregate function means you should always remember that sum, average, maximum, minimum, count. Okay, those five functions are called aggregate functions. Okay, so let's move on here. So grouping and the results by group. Okay, MySQL wouldn't create a error, include a non-group existence. And the non-group field is a field that has a different value. Yeah, that's what I'm, non-group function field means, maybe it is a unique items, or, maybe one or two places it may return. So that is called a non-group expression, or whatever. Okay, so remember that there is a two different values, that is, you can use a grouping function and then non-grouping function. So non-grouping item means, the whatever the value data is, it is not repeated. Those column is called non-group expression. So the data can be repeated in that table. That is a, you can make a use group by function. Okay, so here we can use group by function using a country or city or whatever, but here postal code is different. Maybe postal code you can do that, because one many players can have living in the same place, so definitely they will have a same postal code. So you know the difference between non-group expression and then group expression, right, Abhinesh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then let's move on to nested group. So nested group means, before we played with only one group, use group by only one column name. So now we can use two or three, depending on our table, we can use 2 3 columns. We can sort by or group by, you can write a query using a group by. So let me write one example. Select, I have to use this, run this, then select department number, comma, EMP number, comma, okay, from, I don't want anything more, from EMP table, group by. Okay, let me explain that. Group by department number, comma, job. I want to display that job too. We have seen this query right before. Guys, do you remember? So what will
Yes,
happen?
ma'am.
You always make a practice. So go from behind. What we have done: group by department number and then job. First, it will 1 second. Someone is calling. Hold on, guys. Okay, what is that? Okay, guys, can you hear me now? Okay,
Yes, ma'am, we
okay.
can.
Then we are grouping by department number, and then department number 10 and then 20 according to that 10 department number. Then the job will be grouped. Okay, from employee table. Then we want to display department number, job number. I will explain one thing. Okay, now we got it. Department number 20 clerk, and then 30 salesman manager, and then it will go like that. So I wanna make a job as a descending order. Descending. Okay, let me run this. What will happen? There is an error. It's syntax error. Okay, we will check what is the syntax error. Okay, we can do here count as well. So what will happen if you use count? Anyone? Anyone? Group by department number and then job. So I'm using some count of employee number. So what will happen? Any guess? You guys said.
1 minute, ma'am. Well,
Why
yes,
you
ma'am.
are running this query? So in dip,
No, ma'am.
okay, here what we have done, we are counting that using a group by department number and then job from employee table, and then we are counting that employee number. Okay, department number 20 clerks, 2 clerks are there, then department number 30, 4 salesmen are there. In this way it will count. Okay, so before if you don't use count, what will happen? What happened? If you don't use count,
It
what it
counts
will?
the.
No, if you don't use count employee number, we got something. The employee number will be written. Okay. So we are using a group. This is a non-group expression. So non-group expression means it will select first department 20 clerk, and then we have in department 20 we have a 2 3 clerks. So it will fetch first employee number. Okay, I told you, right? Okay, if you are using a count means it will count how many clerks are there in department 20. Okay, there is a difference. You can see that. Salesman in department 30, 4 salesmen are there. In department 13, only one manager is there. In department 20, one salesman is there. In this way, you will get the answer. So you know the difference between without count employee number and then with count employee number, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the one of the nested group. Okay, next to move on to having class. Okay, let me go step by step. So what does the having class do? Did I write or not? I don't know. I think yeah. So the having classes place condition on group. It is a contrast to the where class. So where class that places a condition on individual row. So where class condition cannot include aggregate function. However, having class can do that condition using aggregate functions. Okay, so let me start from a small thing. Select. Okay, let me run that EMP table first. Okay, now select. We can calculate any two aggregate function: average of salary, and then comma sum of the salary from which table? EMP table. You can, okay. I am you can write. I'm asking you to have a grade of how do you say that? Okay, have okay department, having a department 30, you can group by department. You can pick average salary and then a sum of salary. So you have to write query for that. So my question is, using a department, write a query with a average salary and then sum of salary. So maybe most of the time the question will be like that. So immediately you can write having class, having department DEPT department number equal to, I'm using 30 or whatever, 30, and then I'm, grouping by GROEP, group by department number. Then, from EMP table, I'm calculating average and the sum. Okay. So question is using a department number and then, group it, or, having 30, department number 30, find the average salary or sum. That is a question. So how do you write a query for that? So you cannot, where department number 30, if you use where class, you cannot calculate average and sum. First, you have to understand that point. So what I have to do, I can use only having class. Okay, having department number 30, and then I am grouping by department number, and from EMP table I am calculating average and sum. Okay. So let me run that. So we will get average salary and then sum of the salary. Let us check that. Department 30, 1,600, 1,200, and then this. Okay, let me change it to 10. We will have only one record. 10. We can easily calculate that. Average salary is 10, and then 5,000, and then sum is also 5,000. Okay, you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Someone said no. Who's that? Kaushik, did you say something? If you,
Ma'am, no, ma'am.
okay, if you use var class, you cannot calculate average, sum, or count, or whatever, the 4-5 aggregate functions. So my question is, group by department number, find average or sum or count. So immediately you have to write, okay, having a department number, whatever, 20 or 30, then group by department, and from EMP table, find whatever you want to display, you can write it using a select statement. Okay, then next move on to, okay, use having class, and then we can count using a count aggregate function. So select, select job, comma, count of star, from what? EMP, then group by job, having, I'm writing in a single line, count of star, okay, less than or equal to or greater than or equal to 3. Okay, what it does mean, in our table we have, salesman 1, 2, 3. The job is greater than 3. We use count star. So count star means job, group by job, having count is greater than 3. So what it will happen, it will check that job. So here salesman is greater than 3, and then manager is not greater than 3. Clerk is also, it is 3, it is not greater than or equal to 3. So first let me use greater than or equal to 3. So what will happen? There is a semicolon missing. Okay, let me run this query. So, clerk is 3 and then salesman equal to 5. No, it shouldn't return that value because we use greater than or equal to 3. So, it returned that clerk count. Okay, so now I'm using a greater than or greater than 3. So, according to our table, we have a salesman more than 3. Okay, so if you use, less than 3. So less than 3 means it will return manager, analyst, even clerk also it will return. Oh, less than or equal to 3 means it will return. Okay. So you got it right. You understand this query using a having class, and then we can use aggregate function count. Okay. Then let's using a having class we can use some conditions. What kind of condition? Do from this to that, and in between this to range 2000 to 3000, and if suppose you can use in function also, in and between, and then you can use and operator or operator. So how do you write it? And operator means that this is a condition, right? So where class you can easily that where salary is greater than 3000, and you or either you can use and or student name is something like that, you will display result. So even but here having class we are using some aggregate function. So using having class we can calculate, you can use and operation or operation. So how do you write that query? Select, I want to display that, let me take that, commission also, less than 500 here. Imagine this is a commission. So I want to display less than 500 commission, and salary is greater than 1000, I want to display. So if you use and or, there is a difference, right? You know that, right? First let me write using a or operation.
Yes, ma'am.
Department number, comma, I'm calculating average of commission or whatever, comma, average of salary. Syntax is correct, right? From EMP table. So I'm using a having class, having average of commission is greater than okay, less than 100, because we have only few commission, and then the value is also very less, so I don't want to use greater than. Okay, less than 100, and salary, average salary is greater than 1000. Okay, I have to use greater than or greater than 1000. What happened, guys? Okay, this query, you understand this query before I run
Understood,
that?
ma'am.
Huh? Hello? Yes?
Understood, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Let me run this query. Nothing is there. So, which means we have to change this because our record, we don't have proper values. Let me run this, we get something. Okay. So what it does mean, first, it will select having class average commission less than 100 or average salary greater than 1000. And then from EMP table, we are calculating, okay, average commission and then salary and then department number. It returned that one. Okay. So using and or operation, we can, write a query using a having class. So if you are using a var class, immediately you can write only the commission. You cannot calculate average, or you cannot calculate salary. Okay, so sometimes in a big company they will ask, okay, average is 5000. I want to increment, add an increment or whatever. Total sum is something. They will do some other thing, right? That time they will use having class to find out employees detail. So next move on to, I want to display the depart. Just one, can you mute that? Just one.
Not me, ma'am.
Who is that? Kaushik.
Kaushik, ma'am.
Okay, please, can you mute that?
Kaushik, no, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, let's move on to using a count aggregate function. So how to write it? Select department number, and then calculate average salary. Let me delete this one from EMP table. Group by department. Let me run this. Group by department number. Having already we have seen this, right? Having count. Yeah, we have saw that. Right? We saw that, right? Star is equal to 3.
Equal.
This class having with
Yes,
count star. We saw that, right? Okay, less than
yes.
3. Okay. Then let's move on to in function. So in operation, you know that, right? So I told you, in Python, you know that, right? If you define a one variable in a as a list, for example, in the list cat or dog and some elephant animals, and then when you execute that query, how do you do that? So you can print that variable in that you can use that variable name, so it will print true. If that variable is, sorry, that animal is not in that variable, so it will return false, right? So can you remember those small piece of code? uh, I don't want to hear
Yes,
pie
ma'am.
chart. Okay. So the same logic will apply here, writing a query, a department number and then, job. So having that job in either any names, job name, either manager or, salesman, you can calculate, sum of that salary. Okay. Let me write it down here. Select. Okay. Ah, come on. Select department number. I want to display that department number, comma, job. I want to calculate average of salary. Then from EMP table, then I'm going to use group by department number, comma, job. Then I'm going to use having class, having in operation. So having, I have to use in operation clerk, maybe salesman, come on, Sujata, close bracket and then comma. I want to calculate manager analyst, LYST, analyst, close bracket. Okay, that is okay. Here having, what is that in where you are finding this? So I have to mention that column ID. Okay, so simply having in means salesman and then analyst, where you are going to find it. So I declare here that attribute name. So that's it. Let me run this query. What will happen? Syntax error. Job. I here there is a typo. Okay. See, we got it. 1 second. Okay, having in a salesman and analyst, then I'm taking a group by department and job. So department 30, 20, 20. So 30 salesman, average salary. In department 30, we have, number of salesmen, right? So 1, 2, 3,
Ma'am.
this one is different. So he picked these 3 salesmen and then calculated that salary. So average salary. Then department 20, because we put checkpoint here. So only select salesman and then analyst. If job in salesman and analyst, and then sort by this one and calculate average for that salary. Okay, so this is a condition. So using a having class, we can use some condition. Okay, so this is how you're going to write a query in operator. So if you write a bit using a between operator, so you cannot use this strings type, right? So between operators means you can use some ranges. Between ranges mean obviously you can write number. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then I want to display that salary in between. Okay, we only 1,000 to 3,000. Okay, let's try that. 1,000 and 3,000. So what it does mean, it will pick 1,000 to 3,000, group by department number and then job, and then we don't want to calculate salary or something, right? So it is not necessary at this point. We can return department number, a job. You can do that calculating average or something. Okay. Oh, we don't have anything here.
Why, ma'am?
I don't know. Let's see that the salary average of or sum of salary. Okay.
Department number you given wrong, ma'am.
No. It's not case sensitive. Did I ever say that keywords are case sensitive or any attributes are case sensitive? Only while creating a table name, it is a case sensitive. For example, if I create, one second, let me run this. Create a table. AAA. Okay, so what will happen? MySQL is a friendly thing. Graphics, it won't throw error, but it will create only small lowercase. Table must have one column. Okay, then ID is a integer type. Okay, let's close this. Let me run this query. You say one row is affected. Refresh this. So can you see that? Yeah. So here in
Yes, ma'am.
MySQL, it will convert it. But one second. Yeah, nothing. No, it will create as a smaller case. But those days when I studied Visual Basic, those time I have to use only if it is a lower case or upper case. Maybe later it is changed, but MySQL is a it is a user friendly. It converts whatever it will accept whatever the way you write, but whenever you write in on a paper, just do it nicely. Key value, basically make a practice. Key value should be uppercase, but it is not mandatory. I'm asking you to make a practice, then only you can, when you see this, you can easily read that query easily, right? So for, here it is a color, it shows with color, you can easily differentiate. But when you write on a paper, you can easily read that. Some those days we don't have this kind of editor. Manually it is a black and white stuff where we have to write whatever we are writing. Only we can see the background is black. It's like a command prompt. CMD, if I take CMD, so those days, if you write a select star from EMP, something like that, you can you can easily identify. If you write everything in a smaller case, it's not a wrong in it. Select star from EMP, but it's little bit to understand. It's hard to understand, so that is why I'm asking you, whenever you write a query, so use a keywords or a uppercase, and then other thing, maybe a lowercase, or if you want to write uppercase, that is fine. But MySQL is friendly, user friendly. I'm not sure about exactly what it does mean. I have to read the manual. It will take whatever the way you write it. Okay, so let's move on to the in between class. So why it is showing nothing shown. Let me run department salary. Maybe we don't have any 500. Let me change the value. Okay, then let me run this query again. 5,000. What happened? Nothing is there. So maybe there is a problem in our query, pausing that query. Let me check. Select department number, job. Okay, sum of the salary. Having a job between 500 to 5,000. Why there is a, what is a wrong in it? Shit. Guys, can you, okay. I know what it does mean. Sum of, I'm calculating sum of salary.
Sum of job.
Okay, let me run this query. What will happen? See, we got it. So what we have done mistake here. We haven't using having class. We haven't
Yes,
calculated
ma'am.
the sum of salary in
Unnecessary.
between. Yeah, that is why it's it written empty values. So you understand, right? So before we used
Yes,
in
ma'am.
class. So in operator, now we use between operator. Okay. So so read from behind, you will understand. So between 500 and 1000, sorry, 5000, it will return the value. So between 500 and 5000, then we are having a sum of salary. So add all the salary. uh, where is the sum of salary? Okay, I got it. Then group by department number and then job. So we want to select salary, sum of salary, job, and then department number. It will return that values. Okay. So let me change that 500 to 1000. So what will happen? It will return different values. See, we got it right. Before we got 5 records, or I think 6 records. Now it is reduced number. So only we return only 4 records. Okay. Okay. Let me change this one to 3000. So what you will get only these 3 records. We will get only these 3 records. Let me change this. See, we got it right. So in sum of salary between 1000 and 3000, we are grouping this job, department number and the job. So we want to display department number, job, and sum of the salary. So that's all. You got it right, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you want to display non-group expression, already I showed you. Pick a job name or average salary, and then only on the select statement, pick non-group values, non-group column name. It will return that. It will already. I told you it will pick the first name of that record and then return. That's how these 2 chapters. Tomorrow onwards, we couple of days we will use some other table. Okay, I have a nice
Yes, ma'am.
table here. We will practice. Okay, so what is that? Play a table. No, garment. Okay, here I have nice table. See, we will run a query here. Can we do that now? So
Yes.
here is the table. Just go through that
Ma'am,
table.
we have 5 minutes.
Huh? What happened?
Nothing, ma'am.
Okay, let me run this table. It only on this database. Select select star from garment. 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 Okay, let me run this query. We will see that. Okay, we have the record, garment code, garment name, size, color, and then price. So I want to write a query, to display code and name. So code means garment code and name, that have their names starting with ladies. How do you write that query? Select what is my
Starting with what name?
starting with ladies. So because here we can see the name starting with name ladies. So ladies jacket, that's it. Starting with ladies top, right? There is 2 places ladies, right? Okay, I want to write the query. How do you write it? Select, I want to display code and name. So what you will write? Select
Select
G code,
G code, G
G
name,
code, comma, G name.
G name
Yeah.
from
From
garment
garment, GRMENT, garment. Then where?
where
One second, guys.
G name is equal to
G name not equal to, you can write it. You can use another G name. Spelling is wrong. Gname, like maybe I would use here jeans, ladies, yes, ladies, whatever, ladies, and or something like that. Okay, so how do you write a Gname equal to? Let me apply here. Done. Okay, if I run this query, so the second data is changed as Jean ladies pant. Okay. So how do you write G name equal to something like that? So you have to use a like operator. Then within double quotes, ladies must be anywhere, any starting or middle or anything. So you can use two signs, right? Either if you know that how many words are front or back, so you can use underscore. If you don't know that, then use the ampersand sign. Ladies, 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 ampersand,
Okay, ma'am.
then close it, then close it. Let's run this query. See, we got 3 of them. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think already time's up. We will run. No, I will bring with some other tables and then we will run. Okay. So next 2-3 days we will work around all the tables and from W3 school I will bring some other queries, sample queries, how to run it. After that, okay, one more thing before I wind up, I have to inform. You guys saw that your test mark, weekly test mark, right? It is out of 30.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I changed when I updated in my spreadsheet. In school we have a record to keep all your marks. So I changed it into 30 to 40. Okay, how do you calculate? If your written exam in 30,
Our mark
calculate it
by
to 40.
divided by 30 into 40, ma'am.
Yeah, sorry,
Our mark divided by 30 into 40.
30 into 40. Okay,
No,
yes.
ma'am. If I get 24 means 24 by 30 into
Into 40.
40.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
no, I already calculated, updated. Don't get confused. Okay, that your ma'am showed us a given mark is 24. Why she sent 34 or whatever. I converted into 40. Every week test we are grouping it as a 30-40 marks. Then term exam depending upon the principal request we have this time you're gonna write in 80 marks, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, this week we will work around this MySQL 2 chapters and 2 different tables. The next week onwards we have a revision. So revision means we will go back file handler and then other chapters. Okay. So next week, as per our
Ma'am.
instruction, we only do revision in our class session. So we will do that. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So far you guys do that's all database SQL thing. After that, what is the next chapter? Next chapter goes to different what is that? Oh, creating a Django based web-based application. Oh, I think it is excluded. No, let me take a screenshot and then send you any one of you, and then you guys can share it. What is it is included in this year.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, one database management system. Only these 2 topics. We will thorough this topic this week, and then we will wind up. Okay. Bye now.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice day,
You too.
ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Saravanan, hold on. Don't go. Saravanan. See, he escaped.